This is a video to explain the course Education 325 Children's Literature, the online version. I'm Andy Steck. I'm your instructor. I'm going to walk you through Blackboard, which is the management system we use for all of our online work. I'm on the home page, and I want to point out a few of the aspects of the home page for you. We have announcements here. Now, I make weekly announcements for you, so you should check this every week. And I usually will also send the announcement to you in an email. But if you don't get something from me every week, then I would check this just to make sure you're up to date in all of the announcements. I have a contact for Wilson Library. Our librarians are wonderful. They'll help you out immensely. If you need anything from them, please contact them. And here is the link to the library website. Blackboard Help is wonderful also. That should be your first contact even before you come to me. If you're struggling and you can't figure out what's going on with Blackboard, I would contact them. Sometimes they'll say, oh, that's a problem with your instructor. Maybe I forgot to make something available to you. I haven't opened it. I apologize in advance for that. I'm not here to put up barriers or to cause issues with you getting your work done. I know you're online and you want things done so you can move ahead, and I want you to be successful in this course. I will apologize if it is my problem, but every once in a while I do forget to make something available to you, or I've made an error, but I will correct that, apologize to you, and get you going again. I will try to check back with you very shortly, sometimes within minutes. It depends where I'm at. If I see it on my phone, I may not be able to fix it on my phone, so as soon as I get to my computer, I will fix it on my computer and have you on your way. So it should be very quickly. Even sometimes late at night. Sometimes I'm working late at night, and if you are up working late at night too, you certainly can check. If not, I'll check with you the next morning. When I put due dates on assignments, they will show up here. The Academic Success Center is a really great place for tutorial work, even not for this course, but for other courses that you might need some editing or you need some tutoring. By all means, check out the Academic Success Center. Here's information here about that. Here's some more information. And last but not least is the report card. And when I have graded an assignment, have posted in Gradebook, it should appear here. So that's the home page. Another very important page is the weekly lessons page. Now, you won't see all of these right now, but because I have the instructor's model here, all you will see is week 1. You have 9 days to complete a week. I usually put it on by Friday evening at 11:59 p.m. And then you have that first weekend, you have all the next week, and you have the following weekend. Now, what you might see is while you're working on week 1, I may put week 2 online, which I will. That Friday, it overlaps the second weekend, so don't panic because you still have 9 days to complete it, but you do have to have it done by that second weekend Sunday by 11:59, and it does shut down then. And I do that so that you don't get backtrack and you don't have things finished and then you're panicking because you're 2 weeks behind. If you do get behind, talk to me. I'm pretty flexible. I'll help you out. But if you get really behind, then I will probably question what's going on and how can we make changes in your life so you can get caught up and be successful in the class. The weekly calendar is just the whole semester. It shows when some assignments are due, when readings are due, when our virtual discussion is due. This is the syllabus page, and I'm going to talk to you about the syllabus very shortly after I'm done walking through Blackboard with you. You've already seen a copy of your virtual group. If you were added onto the class, if you registered after August 1st, I may not have added you. You need to then let me know that you are new to the class because I sent all of the groups out about August 1st. And the book list, so you have a chance to at least read the 8 required books. We also have a textbook I'll talk to you about, and there are some other books that you'll read, but you'll have a choice in reading those books. This is an FYI wiki. You might want to check this occasionally. I may have posted something that's related to the class, some additional resource, or maybe it's a job fair coming up that you might be interested in. Maybe you find something about children's literature along the way. This is a great place to put it. I'll check it too. I may not check it weekly, but I will check it to see if you posted anything. And this is open for all of us to post on whatever information we might have along the way that may not fit anywhere else in the class, but it is related to the class. You'll be taking a look at some lesson plans and objectives. We have a new lesson plan template. I will try to walk you through that as well this semester. It's just as easy as the last one, but it's just looks a little bit different. These are blogs and wikis that you'll see weekly, so you don't need to worry really about that page. Sometimes you'll do some group work. Yes, you'll need to do group work. I know it's probably something not everybody likes, but some people do like it and get in touch with each other in regards to doing some group work some weeks. These are tools you can use, and this is some help that you can find online. I'll click on this. These are the assignment descriptions. If I click on that, it'll download and you can look at briefly all of the assignments. They're also in the syllabus. The Reader's Response blog is one of our assignments that you'll see along the way. Here is the Reader's Response blog page. You'll put your link to your Reader's Response blog in this Dropbox. Here's a description of this assignment. Here's an explanation of the Reader's Response blog, and that is a video that you can listen to. I have a sample blog and another exemplar. We will be doing author study presentations online. This is the assignment for that. This is all of the information you'll find that you'll need in here as well. You will also have a field experience this semester. You're going to work in a children's library. I'm going to talk to you more about that. If you click on this folder, you'll find the information for that. Another assignment is to create a book trailer. That information is here too, and some book trailers are here as well. It's a lot of fun. If you've never created one, it will seem overwhelming, but once you get the hang of it, it's fairly easy, and I think you'll like it. We're going to create family literacy backpacks that you're actually going to give to a family. And that's kind of fun. If one of you works in a school and we can do a grade level and you're willing to meet with me on campus to transport the backpacks to a classroom, we can actually try it out on a classroom. But that will mean somebody will need to step up and say, oh, I do have a second grade or I have a third grade. Probably a primary grade would be easier for us. But if you have an older grade, we can talk about that as well. But if you do know of a grade who might be willing to use our backpacks, it's always fun to see how authentically they can be used, and it is a lot of fun. You'll create some virtual discussions. That information's here. You're going to create a virtual library and add 24 books. That's another assignment. Your final exam will be your e-portfolio. We'll be talking about that. If you want to know some information about me, click on this link right here, and it will have a picture of me, and it will also tell you some background on what I have done previously and where I've come from and what my credentials are, and you can see that. If you need to know anything about educational studies, here's the up-to-date handbook, the 2018-2019 handbook, and of course then your grades are here. And that pretty much takes care of Blackboard. Again, the most important page every week will be to click on the weekly lesson, and you will see the weekly lesson starting Friday evening at 11:59 p.m. So if you're anxious to start, you can stay up and wait for that, and it should appear. I try to put them always on. I try to send you an email saying that the week is available and you can start working on it. And any other announcements I might have, I'll add to that email. You might, if you don't get the email, you might want to check the announcement page because it should appear there as well. So let's take a look at the syllabus. I'm going to walk you through the syllabus. Please don't feel overwhelmed. I know with me explaining the assignments right now, you're like, whoa. But they happen little by little throughout the semester. I'll try to remind you when an assignment is coming up so that you can prep for it and be ready. But I do want to share the syllabus and a little bit about the assignments. Now, the assignments are above and beyond what you will do every week. Your participation online is actually coming to class. And you can do that at any time you want except for the virtual discussions, and your discussion group will have to decide when you're going to meet to discuss eight books. And I say 8 books, those were the books that were sent to you this summer. The list was sent to you this summer, I'm sorry, so that you could start collecting those books either by purchasing them, by renting them, by borrowing them, going to the library and finding them, looking at used bookstores, use books online. It doesn't matter to me how you get them. You may know of a student who's had this class before, and they may be able to lead you to somebody who has that book. If it all else fails, I have some copies of some of the books, and you can contact me and you can borrow one of mine if you have not been able to find it. The course description for this course is designed to introduce students to children's literature with an emphasis on developing aesthetic and critical response to literature, experiencing and appreciating a breadth of genres and a variety of authors and illustrators. Creative ways to use literature with children will be investigated. Students will begin to use children's literature as a teacher in an elementary or middle school classroom. These are the learning outcomes. For the most part, they are attached to each of the assignments that you will be doing along the way. If there is one here that you don't feel that we have covered, please let me know, because I'm very interested in updating this course. This is one of my passions, children's literature. I have probably over 2,000 books between my office on campus and my office that you see behind me at home. I am a collector of children's literature. If you know of a place that sells children's literature inexpensively, let me know, because I'll always seek them out, and I'll tell you that along the way as well. There is a required textbook. You may find this book on reserve in the library. You can, if you don't find the 8th edition, don't panic. You can use an earlier edition. It may be just a different page that I refer to. You might have to hunt for a different page. Excuse me. I'm going to move ahead and share with you these are the assignments and the points that they're worth. This is your grade. Once we figured out the points and we divide it by the total number of points and get the percentage, you'll know what your grade is. Do not try to do that along the way, because I give lots of extra credit along the way, and Gradebook does not account for extra credit. So your points will be off and you'll be a little worried. And so I say at the very end, now is the time you can calculate the points, and I'll tell you what the total points for this course is, so that you then can figure out your grade before I give you the grade. I have a late work policy. I am pretty flexible if you have a good excuse why you weren't online for a week, but please, please, please be transparent, as I will be with you, and let me know what's happening. I don't need to know all about your personal life, but if you're having a situation that occurred during the week and you didn't get online, talk to me. Just don't let it go by. Please keep in contact with me through an email very quickly. It can be short. Just let me know what's happening and we'll converse that way. Your classroom conduct is how you are appropriate in regards to responding to the activities, responding to each other. There'll be weeks where you will be commenting on each other's. We do want to have positive comments. We can offer suggestions, but do it in a way that is not critical, but is helping, and students feel, yes, that's a great idea. Maybe I should try that. If you have a disability, please let me know. I will accommodate you whatever way you need. There are no tests in this course, so you don't have to worry about a time limit on tests. There are weekly activities you must do, and if you have something that prevents you from getting those done, please let me know. I will work with you. Here's the attendance policy. When you don't work online, I can't see that you've attended. That's the only way I can see that you are attending the class, by working online. Please, so please, please, please make an effort every week. In fact, what I would suggest you do is look at the week, work on the group's assignment first, the group activity first, and get that done, and then you can go back and work on your independent, because usually there is an activity for a group to work on, and you'll need to be a part of that group, and I would work on that immediately and then catch up later with the individual work that you have to do that week as well. Usually there's about 3 activities, sometimes 4. 1 will be a group work activity, 2 will be independent. Not all the time, or individual, but not all the time, but most of the time. Please don't plagiarize. Give everybody credit for what's due to them. If you need some help with that, I'll be glad to help and work with you on that as well. Here's some more contact numbers you see here. We are the Lefetra College of Education. Thanks to Tony Lefetra, who gave us a $10 million donation, we're able to do much more with our college. So we have now changed the name of our college to Lefetra College of Education. You'll find the mission, the vision, and the goals here. Please take a look at these. If I'm not following goals, please let me know, because the purpose of me being an instructor and working at the Laverne is so that I do achieve the goals that the college and the university has developed. We have core dispositions. You'll see that my favorite is social emotional learning. That is one disposition that I worked really hard on. I've started three charter elementary schools in Buffalo, New York. I've helped start them, I'll say that. And I train and work on them. And I fly there, not monthly, but almost monthly, to work with my schools there, as well as work here. And I'll probably be sharing some of that information with you too. And if you have questions about that, please don't hesitate to ask me. These are the assignments. The first one that you do need to be concerned about is making sure you have a WebEx account. If you don't have a WebEx account on your computer, and it's kind of like Skyping or FaceTime, but it is through our university, so it's pretty private. It is called WebEx, and you will need to have a WebEx account so that you can meet and discuss the books that I assigned you this summer that you received information about. And you do need to set up a time when the 4 or 5 of you, depending on how many are in your group, can meet and talk about the books. That takes maybe 10-15 minutes at the most, but you're going to record that and you're going to add that to the virtual discussion groups on Blackboard so that I can look at your discussion. Sometimes I will ask you to invite me to your discussion, and if I can work it out in my schedule, I will join your discussion to talk about the book with you. So if you do not have a WebEx account, you need to call the service desk at help@laverne.edu, and you need to request a WebEx account. In that request, please put your full legal name and your full Laverne email address, and then they will send you back the link to WebEx, and you'll be able to develop your account, and you'll be able to then click on it and see your colleagues when you have a discussion. And that needs to be set up very quickly. If you have trouble with that, please let me know. Your attendance and participation every week, it's worth 50 points. If you don't do the activities, I can't give you the credit for your attendance. That's the only way I see that you're online and attending to the work that I have assigned you. The Reader's Response blog. Those are the books that you are reading and may have started to read over the summer, the ones I've sent you. And here are the genres for each one. And what you will do, you'll get the hang of this, you'll actually write a blog that has 4 parts to it. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. This is probably the most toughest assignment that you will do. And because it is pretty lengthy and you'll need to do it for each of the books you read. These will be due. As you write them, you can send me the link and I can start correcting them. But I'm not going to put a due date on for each submission. So if you want to wait to the end, which I would not advise at all, you can wait to the end and work on them. I would suggest that once you've read the book and once you discuss it, you write your Reader's Response blog. You can find this, also more information about all these assignments on Blackboard. Look on the menu to the left and click on the Reader's Response blog and it will give you more information. You'll create an author study presentation. You'll create a book trailer. You will also create your family literacy backpack. This is an assignment in which students actually take home backpacks as part of their homework and work with their family to create whatever assignments or activities that you put in there and read the books that you have in yours too. We will be talking about that as well as we come along the way. The self-virtual library is using Google Books, and you'll actually create a library, hopefully, that you'll use throughout the time that you are a teacher. You should also start to think about your library field experience. This is 20 hours that you will need to put into, I think I have 15 hours, excuse me, 15 hours that you will need to put in either a public library or that you'd work primarily in the children's room, although you could work throughout the library, or a school library. And you'll say, when am I going to do this if I'm working full time? Well, you have lunch hours, you have evening hours, you have weekends. And I would start looking at that, because that is part of the assignment here, is to create a field experience and create a journal of every time you go in to complete the hours, what you have done in the library at that time. Even if you do the same thing over, what's something new you see? What's something different you see? Are there more people this time than there were last? There's lots of things you can write about. Even if you still have the same, you say, oh, they're mundane tasks. I have to wipe down the books and put them back on the shelf. I do that every time I come in. Well, tell me about the atmosphere of the library. Tell me what's going on at the time you're doing that. Does anybody ask you for help? Who's in the library? What's happening? And you'll also need to talk to the children's librarian, which is probably just one of the librarians, about a budget, about how they get the books for the children's library, how they create the design for the library, who keeps the children's library looking like it does, what makes it inspirational or motivational for students. And last but not least is your e-portfolio. You may have already started this for another class, I'm sure you have, and you're going to put all of your assignments, excuse me, and some other resources, and you're going to also write some reflections for me, and we'll be talking more about that. And if you are interested in knowing more about me, here I am. I do teach instructional approaches to math. I teach teaching social studies, which is now called history, society, and culture. And I teach children's literature. I also teach a freshman flex class that some of you have been in, and that is called The Introduction to the Teaching Profession. You can read the rest about me here. I am a consultant for my 3 schools in Buffalo, New York. And that should take care of this video that explains Blackboard and runs through the syllabus. I know you're probably overwhelmed. I apologize in advance if you feel that way, but at least you now have a flavor for what's going to happen the next 16 weeks. And it will get done, and you will be successful. And if you aren't, let's work on that and see how we can make you be successful in this course. Questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Otherwise, I'll see you online.